Imagine, if you will, a world of fractured kingdoms, a world of stone castles and whispered plots. This was the Balkans in the 14th century, a vibrant, dangerous chessboard of ambition. The once mighty Byzantine Empire, the heir to Rome, was really just a shadow of its former self, weakened by internal strife and the relentless pressure of rivals. To the north, the Kingdom of Hungary flexed its muscles, always watchful for a chance to expand its influence. To the south, the Republic of Venice, a maritime power, controlled the seas and the flow of wealth. Into this volatile landscape stepped the Kingdom of Serbia. For centuries, the Serbs had been carving out a state for themselves, nestled among the rugged mountains and fertile valleys of the Balkan Peninsula. Led by the Nemanjic dynasty, they had built a proud and resilient kingdom, establishing a unique identity rooted in Orthodox Christianity and a fierce spirit of independence. Every great story needs a hero, and ours is a giant of a man named Stefan Uros, the fourth Dušan. He was born into the ruling Nemanjic dynasty, a lineage that had guided Serbia for generations. From a young age, it was clear he was different, tall and powerfully built, said to be the tallest man of his time, a true warrior prince. Dušan's first taste of real power came at the Battle of Velbajt in 1330. The Bulgarian Empire, a formidable rival, challenged Serbian dominance. In a decisive and brutal clash, the young Dušan led the Serbian army to a stunning victory. He shattered the Bulgarian forces and secured Serbia's position as the preeminent power in the Western Balkans. However, his ambition put him on a collision course with his own father. King Stefan Dušan was a more cautious ruler, content with the victory at Velbajt, and hesitant to push further. In 1331, urged on by the nobility, Dušan made his move. He marched with an army to the royal court and deposed his father. It was a swift, decisive, and tragic event that haunts his story. With the crown firmly on his head, King Dušan wasted no time. Taking advantage of their endless civil war, Dušan launched a series of brilliant military campaigns. He was not just a brute, he was a master strategist, often taking cities and fortresses with minimal bloodshed, persuading garrisons to surrender or exploiting local rivalries. One by one, Byzantine territories fell into his hands like ripe fruit from a tree. His armies swept through Macedonia, Albania, and northern Greece. Key cities like Ohrid, Prilep, and Ceres, once proud centers of Byzantine power, now flew the Serbian banner. He seemed unstoppable, an irresistible force of nature rolling down from the north. On Easter Sunday, 1346, in the city of Skopje, a grand ceremony took place. Before an assembly of nobles, clergy, and foreign dignitaries, Stefan Dušan was crowned emperor. It was a moment of supreme triumph, a declaration to the world. A new empire had been born in the heart of the Balkans. An empire is more than just conquered land. It needs laws. It needs order. This understanding gave birth to his most enduring achievement, a monumental work of legislation known as Dušan's Code, or Zakonik. Promulgated in 1349 and expanded in 1354, the code was a remarkable document for its time, a fusion of Serbian customary law, Byzantine legal tradition, and Dušan's own imperial decrees. The code established a rigid feudal hierarchy. At the top was the emperor, of course. Below him were the nobles, the clergy, and the common people, or Sebri. Yet the very existence of the code was a step forward. It introduced a level of predictability and stability that had been lacking. For instance, it protected peasants from the absolute power of their lords, giving them some legal recourse. So, what was it really like to live in this new, sprawling empire? In the cities, a more dynamic life unfolded. Cities like Prizren, the political capital, and Skopje, the site of the coronation, just bustled with activity. They were true melting pots of culture. Serbian administrators, Greek scholars, and Ragusan merchants all mingled in the crowded marketplaces. Faith was, without a doubt, the very heart of the empire. The Serbian Orthodox Church enjoyed immense wealth and privilege under Dušan. These weren't just places of prayer. They were the cultural and intellectual centers of the empire. They painted stunning frescoes on the walls of their churches, masterpieces of medieval art that still take our breath away today. At its peak in the early 1350s, the Serbian Empire was a truly formidable power. Its army stood out as one of the most effective in the region, a multi-ethnic force that really reflected the diversity of the empire itself. At the heart of this army were the heavily armored Serbian nobility, the vlastela, fighting as knights in the Western European style. These were the shock troops, capable of shattering enemy formations with a thunderous charge. But Dušan's ambitions didn't stop at what he'd already conquered. His ultimate goal, the grand prize, was Constantinople itself, the city of the world, the legendary capital of the ailing Byzantine Empire. So, in 1350, he entered into negotiations with the Republic of Venice, the great maritime power of the Mediterranean. He offered trading privileges in exchange for the use of their powerful fleet. By 1355, his northern border was secure once more, and he turned his attention back to his ultimate ambition, Constantinople. He began to gather his forces for a massive new campaign, absolutely determined to finally march on the Byzantine capital. Then, the unthinkable happened. On December 20th, 1355, while marching towards Constantinople, Emperor Stefan Dušan suddenly fell ill and died. He was only about 47 years old. His death sent a shockwave across the empire. The indispensable man, the architect and keystone of the entire imperial structure, was gone. Dušan was succeeded by his 19-year-old son, Stefan Uros V, who would become known as Uros the Weak. He was a gentle and pious young man, but he lacked his father's strength, vision, and ruthless ambition. The powerful regional lords, who had been kept in check by Dušan's iron will, immediately began to assert their own independence. The empire began to fracture from within. The final fatal blow came on September 26, 1371. At the Maritsa River, they were caught by surprise in a daring Ottoman night raid. The Battle of Maritsa was, simply put, an unmitigated disaster. Just a few months later, Emperor Uros V died without an heir, marking the official end of the Nemanjic dynasty. With his death and the catastrophe at Maritsa, the Serbian Empire ceased to exist. The Serbian Empire was, in the grand scheme of things, fleeting. It lasted just 25 years. A brief, brilliant flash in the long sweep of Balkan history. But that would be a profound misunderstanding of its importance. The magnificent monasteries built during this era stand as UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Their breathtaking frescoes represent the very pinnacle of Serbian medieval art, and are a testament to the cultural flourishing that happened under Dušan's rule. More importantly, the Serbian Empire became a foundational element of modern Serbian national identity. It's remembered as a golden age, a time of strength, glory, and independence, when a Serbian czar ruled a vast and powerful state. Dušan's dream may have died in 1371, but its memory became an immortal legend, an echo in stone and soul that, honestly, has never truly faded away.